Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my journey as an educator, but today I want to invite you guys to think bigger. I'm going to share with you a story, the story that changed my life, my perspective as an educator, my risk-taking abilities, and ultimately the reason why I'm here today. It all started with these two boys. I'm a PE teacher, actually. And one day I was teaching my classes, and I saw, I'm giving instructions, and I saw these two boys doing this. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But here's what I'm noticing. First of all, they're good. And second, these kids they're so different. They have nothing in common. Something here is bringing them together. So it bothered me. It bothered me that my school didn't have a drama program that would cater to this. We don't have an arts department that would cater to dance. So I did what anybody in this room would do, which was to impersonate a high school student who had a dance crew, and I started sending these kids random messages like these. And in these videos, they would say, hey, my name is Xilex. I have a dance crew at the high school. Do you want to be part of my dance crew? Things escalated. This is when I knew that it was bigger than me. I got another high school student who owed me a favor to walk down one day and recruit the kids in front of every single middle schooler at the school. This part right here specifically made the whole school realize that something was happening that everybody wanted to be a part of. Now, this is when I knew I was in trouble because I knew that I had something going. And the only thing I could think about was I need to build them a platform that they could follow and possibly start unlocking missions. So I gamified this process, and I gave them 4 missions. Ultimately, they would be able to perform these missions, unlock them, level up, and eventually have the pleasure of meeting Xilex. At this point, I was nervous because I was like, okay, I'm going to have to reveal myself with these kids. What happened next was amazing. These kids didn't just take this website literally. They began doing things all over the school. They began performing at assemblies. They began teaching dance in my PE classes, making their own dance videos outside of school time, and doing flash mobs all over the school. Teachers began to notice. Teachers began to want them to do stuff in their classes too. And for example, this is one of our teachers, Riley Laird, and she's doing hologram technology here, and the kids were working with her as well to get these things done. It wasn't just Riley, though. We had other teachers who were doing cool stuff with them as well. The global dance battle was an idea that we had, which is where the kids made a 1-minute video and started sending that out to other kids in other schools. And other kids in other schools responded with their own replies for the dance battles. And I encourage you guys, if you guys have a dance crew at your school, feel free to get in touch with us. This specifically here below is a Guatemalan school that is for homeless children, and they actually focus a lot on dance. So they were the first ones to reply, and I think the kids were very impressed with that reply from the dance crew. At the end of the year, however, it was time to reveal myself because they had unlocked all the missions. And this day I was a little nervous because I put 2 envelopes on a table. As they arrived, had they chosen yes, I was ready to walk in there and take my mask off and say, it's Mr. Galvez. But then I gave them an envelope that said no. And then it said, if you choose no, I have a proposal for you. The Stelio Entertainment Company. The concept was to turn these kids into just dancers, into proper business people. And they accepted no, fortunately. And that's where Stelio Entertainment Company was born. And then we had the kids, the founders, became CEOs, CFOs. We had social media managers. We had accountants. And we started actually making some money by performing around town. So I paired them up with mentors at our school, some of them who are here, I'm very thankful for. And I would have these teachers, we had teachers who are experts in their own subjects mentor the kids monthly, asking them questions about where the business was going. To a lot of success. The kids then began managing pretty much their own schedules, their own performances. This is them performing at one of our winter bazaars, and they were already on social media, which was pretty awesome to see. A couple months later, that same Guatemalan foundation needed money to go to Mexico to perform, to do a dance competition. And this is when I get a little emotional, because the kids took their own money and sent this money to the Guatemalan school and sent them to Mexico to compete from their own funds that they had earned. This is when I knew this project was bigger than me, it was bigger than them, and was bigger than our school. I'm a moonshot thinker, self-proclaimed. I realize that thinking big when making your project with your students is very important. I like to start by thinking 10 times bigger. Nobody does this better than Google X. I don't know if you're familiar with Google X. They're the group that makes the driverless vehicles. They are the group that make the helium balloons that will circle the Earth, providing free Wi-Fi. They were just helping out in Puerto Rico after the earthquake, after the hurricane, they actually provided free Wi-Fi down there. Astro Teller, official job at Google, captain of moonshots. He leads Google X, and he talks about how they celebrate failure. They actually bonus the teams when they actually find a flaw in the projects they're doing, because it actually helps save money. They promote risk-taking, they promote and celebrate failure, and they think big. How do you think big in education? That's the challenge for us to think. You know, I can't imagine my principal saying, "Carlos, way to fail, buddy. The kids, they failed. Good on you." No. We've got to find a balance with the risk-taking that we take our schools. However, let me show you this video that will explain moonshot thinking a little more in depth.
The actual moonshot is wonderful, inspirational, poetic, beautiful, involved great technical challenges, genuine heroism. It brought the world together. But think about the Polynesian islander on the dugout canoe, deciding one day they were going to go that way. No one had ever been that way before. No one even knew if there was anything that way before. It was amazing, and it changed the world.
People can set their minds to magical, seemingly impossible ideas, and then through science and technology, bring them to reality. And that then sets other people on fire, that other things that look impossible might be accomplishable.
Galileo is such a hero, in thinking big, and what he represents to me is both curiosity and wonder that humanity had, that pushed him and drove himself to invent and work on the first telescopes that allowed us to see the moon, and here we are.
These aviation pioneers were figuring it out as they went. No one really knew how to build an airplane, right? No one knew how to fly an airplane. It was amazing and crazy and wonderful, and they wanted to explore.
Many years ago, the great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there.
There's so many challenges in the world, and you can feel daunted by that, and sort of oppressed by that, or you kind of say, how might we think differently about this?
Everyone else in the world is working on that next 10%. If you can be the one that delivers that 10 times improvement, you have a chance to really change things.
If you want cars to run at 50 miles per gallon, fine, you can retool your car a little bit. But if I tell you it has to run on a gallon of gas for 500 miles, you have to start over.
You need a lot of courage in this work, and you need a lot of persistence. One of the things that's really critical is not only having the courage to keep trying every day or thinking big, even if you don't really 100% believe it's possible, like you might think this might be possible, have the courage to try. That's how the greatest things have happened.
You don't spend your time being bothered that you can't teleport from here to Japan, because there's a part of you that thinks it's impossible. Moonshot thinking is choosing to be bothered by that.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Humanity's progress has been a series of amazing, audacious things, from the very small and personal up to the great, big, and grand. And we are a species of moonshots. And to me, that's like the really amazing, poetic, and inspirational thing.
I think our ambitions are a glass ceiling on what we can accomplish.
When you find your passion, you're unstoppable. You can make amazing things happen. It's been true through all of history.
I believe in the human spirit, and I believe that there are always going to be crazy people who will get out of bed one morning and say, you know what? I think I can build a space elevator, and let's go and do it. But I think that if we become afraid to take these great big risks, we stop inspiring people. We stop achieving things. And the biggest nightmare scenario is that we won't have what it takes to solve the really big challenges.
When Kennedy said that we would put a man on the moon, it's about the fact that he said, we don't know how to do this yet, and we're gonna do it anyway. And that sends chills up everybody's spine. Because if that happens, what couldn't we do?
My current moonshot as we speak is called thepassionincubator.com. It's a website where anyone from anywhere can learn more about making or starting passion projects in their own schools. I've got collaborators all the time blogging for us and constantly updating. For anybody who has not done it, or anybody who does not have a Genius Hour or a 20 time or a variation of it in their schools, this is a great place to get started. Very quickly, I am honored this morning to be able to have one of our dancers, Tafiq McDonald, here this morning to perform for us. So I'm going to let him have the floor.
Let's get some of that shit. Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Hi, guys. I know we're running late on time, but I just wanted to get Tawfiq up here. I have a couple of questions for him, for maybe you guys. First of all, where are you supposed to be right now, and why are you here?
I am currently in a basketball tournament with my school right now. I missed my first morning's game, and when I told my coach a month in advance that I was going to come here to dance and present with Mr. Galvez, he still isn't very happy with me and gave me a little bit of a smug look yesterday. But it was whatever, and I came here because this project really changed my life, and just like it set a course for me that I still don't know where I'm going.
Where are you currently with the crew right now?
Currently with the crew, as of last year, we took that business model, and it was a lot of fun learning and working with teachers, learning different perspectives, and learning a different way of doing things while trying to match our creativity and the new things we were trying with. Still learning the business world, trying to gain income, working on design, social media, getting our names out there, and I thought that was great and all, but the kid you just saw dance in the video was actually the kid who taught me how to dance about 2 years ago. I was sitting in choir and I didn't bother to pay attention in that class, so I looked at him and said, "How do you do that?" He's sitting there in the class just going. I was like, "How do you do that?" So for 2 months, he taught me how to do a wave, and 2 months after that, I would just sit there and go, "Yes, I'm paying attention." And that's how I learned how to dance. Everywhere I went, I would just practice. And I'm still not the best, but every day I dance. I do something as I go. I listen to my music. And it's just a progressive, I've just been progressing throughout. And with Mr. Galvez in this project, I've been able to go everywhere and do things that I've never imagined. Like talking right now in front of you guys. I would never think that I'd be a student talking at a teacher conference. Like that's just not in my head. And I was just like, well, the business model was fun and all, but he's gone, other people are gone. I have 3 people left with me. What do I do? So I told myself, it was just like, well, you have this opportunity. You know there are other good dancers in the school, but you just haven't reached out to them. So this year, I decided to take that business model and turn it into more of like a class. I turned it into a middle school crew. I wanted more middle schoolers to come in because they're all shy and like self-centered and really like just looking at like, well, did I do good enough? Do I look okay? Is there anything that's gonna go wrong? And I was like, dude, the only reason I'm here is because I forgot about all that. And I wanted to give them that opportunity. I wanted to give them opportunities like this. And slowly throughout this year, I'm giving them more and more of that. I wanted them to put their names out there because I wouldn't be here had I not stepped on stage and put my name out there. I'm trying to help them put their names out there, and slowly and surely, people are starting to know them through me, but I don't want it to be through me. I want it to be through their performance. They're performing, and they've gotten so many questions, and I've continuously say this of how proud I am of them, of just getting up there and doing what they love to do. So, yeah.
Hey, Tawfiq. You and I have been through a lot. Coached you in basketball, taught you PE.
Oh, yeah.
We just finished doing STEAM. I personally wouldn't be here without you. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And thank you for changing my life. Tawfiq McDonald. Thanks, buddy. I'll leave you with 2 quick quotes, everybody. I'm sorry. I know you're late. Oh, boy. Oh, that's you. Are we done? No worries. If you're an admin, if you're a tech director, or promote risk-taking in your schools, I really do believe that it's important to be able to do that. I work at a school where people don't say, hey, what's Carlos, the PE teacher, doing with a green screen? I work at a school where they say, what's Carlos doing with a green screen this time? And I'm lucky. I consider myself very lucky. A guy named Ronnie Habib, you might know him. He's a very big mindfulness guy. And I know this is an innovation conference, but his line always gets to me. The deepest level of understanding does not come through technology, but through connections. I believe that it's through relationships and bonds with the kids that they will jump on board with you every time you take a risk, every time you take a moonshot. They will follow. Thank you very much.